waste, things like that. So let's all be conscious of the non-verbal communication that is also taking place while we're communicating with people. Then
Hello.
Hello.
I can't hear anyone, please.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, so
I
like
can't hear
network is disturbing now.
Yes, I can hear you.
I go and sleep if you cannot hear anyone. No? Okay.
I can't hear anybody, please.
It's network. Okay, so just hold on for some minutes.
Okay,
We are
I
working
can.
on it, okay?
Okay, I can hear network.
Hello, hopefully she will get back soon. I think her network just logged out. So I think she will log on soon. Who is making call?
Hello, are we together?
Yes, we are with you. Still
I know.
with you.
Yeah, I know with me. I'm not your facilitator.
Alpha, is it Ezekiel?
It's not Ezekiel. This is Samuel speaking.
Sam.
Mm.
You're not feeling fine. Say, after chopping breakfast, you're still talking.
Sure.
Who is asking of? Who is asking of Ezekiel there? Are you missing Ezekiel?
We are waiting for her to join back. And it seems our network is having an issue.
Now,
the youths of this country.
What do the youth of the country, Obiko?
We are supposed to be problem solvers now. Maybe we go climb mast and correct this network issue now.
Shebi.
Hello? Okay, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, I thought I was here with you guys and I didn't realize that I had dropped out. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so can we continue?
Welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back, man.
Yes. I need access to share my screen again. And why is this thing on YouTube?
Okay, we are live streaming actually.
Yeah, I
So
just noticed that. So can I have
okay,
access to
so
share my screen, please?
on it, yeah, you have access now. Okay,
All right.
you have access now.
Okay. Okay, so apologies for that. I was actually talking and I didn't realize I had gone off. So recap, I think where we stopped was here, active listening. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Then I talked about, I don't know, did we start tips to listen effectively? Did I start on that?
Okay, fine.
Had I talked about it?
Yes. You started talking on it.
Okay, yeah. So these are some of the tips to listen effectively. So don't talk, listen, and then don't always jump to conclusion that you know what the person is going to say. So wait for the person to finish speaking. And also listen between the lines. Like I said, sometimes people are communicating to you non-verbally. So when you are communicating to people, apart from what they are saying, also read the non-verbal communication. I gave an instance of probably like 3 guys. One of them is trying to get everybody to go out and let's go and have a drink and things like that. And then the other 2 people, they've already looked at each other, giving themselves sign that that's not going to happen, and they are still talking. But if you were just being a bit more observant and reading between the lines, you'd have realized that those 2 people, they don't want to go anywhere, So always learn to read between the lines. So you're talking to someone, the person's hands on their waists. That's already passing a message across to you, whether you accept it or not. You're talking to somebody, the person's hands is in the pockets. That's another message being passed across to you, even though the person physically might not be saying anything to you. So always ask questions for clarity. Ma, please can you confirm what you just said? For clarity's sake, always ask questions. Then learn to paraphrase. Paraphrase is just recapping what the person has said to you in your own words and in your own understanding. For example, Latifat, go to the market, please buy me shaki pomo, and when you come back, please boil it so that when I come, I can just cook the stew. If I heard you correctly, Ma, you said I should go to the market and buy shaki and pomo and boil it before you get home. Yes, that's correct. So just paraphrase what the person has said. Avoid distractions. You're in class. You're expecting some alerts. Somebody's supposed to transfer some money to you. Instead of you to concentrate in class, you keep checking your phone to see that alert, checking your phone. The 1 minute to take your eyes off the board from what the teacher is saying and doing, you've lost a bit of information being passed, So let's learn to avoid distractions. When we're doing something, let's focus on that task. And once that task is over, then we can move on to something else. Then always keep an open mind. Hear both sides of an argument or a story. Then you can come up with your own idea or your view about it. And then most importantly, always provide a feedback. Someone says, do this for me. Please learn to be able to come back to say, I have done this and these were the results. Very, very important. Okay. Any questions, guys?
No more.
Okay. So non-verbal communications, what you say without using words. Yeah. So tips to improve on your non-verbal communication. So take care of your appearance. Be the look you want to see, yes, or how you want to be taken. That's how you appear. Like I said, example I gave earlier on is you're going to work. You're not going to come to work in a skimpy, sexy dress. You come to work looking very formal with your suits and your nice dress for work. Your hair is well brushed and in place. Your makeup is in place. You're smelling nice and things like that. Then when you're talking to people, you keep appropriate distance, coupled with the COVID-19. So we always keep our distancing from people when we're speaking now. And then there are some people that I know it's not consciously, when they're talking to you, they must touch you when they're talking to you. They don't do it consciously. It's just something that has become with them. They're talking to you, next thing, you just touch your body, you, that kind of thing. So please learn to touch people only so that you don't miss out on any form of communication. Like I shared earlier on, maintain eye contact when you're talking to people. It shows sincerity. Hello?
We can hear you, ma.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you guys had gone off. Okay, so yeah, so when you're talking to people, maintain eye contact. It shows sincerity and shows that you're confident in what you're saying. Then smile genuinely. It always pays to smile. It's always good. When you hear someone that is talking to you with a smile, it's very welcoming and very comforting. So as much as possible, let's learn to smile genuinely when we're speaking with people. Even when we're not talking, we can just smile, and it gives a nice warm feeling to the person that you're communicating with. Okay. So for written communication, you must consider the audience that you're sending the email to. So for example, who am I sending to? Am I sending to my MD? Am I sending to my subordinates? Am I sending to my the people I report to? You know, things like that. Then the structure in the organization. What's the organization structured like, you know? So you need to put all that into consideration when communicating written to within the organization. Think about the organization itself. There are some organizations that when you're sending email, you can say hello. There's some organization that you have to say, dear Bolade, dear Linda. Then learn to be clear and very concise in your written communication. And before you send out an email, always proofread it. One of the tips to use to sending out an email is write an email. 5 minutes later, go back to it and read it. Immediately you write an email, what you've written, you have it in your head. So even when you're reading through it again and you missed out a word or a letter, you're going to read it as if that word or letter is there usually. So it's best to write an email, give it 5 minutes, go and do other things and come back and read through it before you send it off. It's always very good. So proposal writing. So when you're offering your services to other customers or to your clients, you'd have to write a list of it, tailor it to the specific client and customer, and what kind of partnership or business relationship you're proposing with them. That's what a proposal writing is all about. How many of you are familiar with the proposal writing?
I'm not.
None of you are. Okay, so who is familiar with the proposal writing?
I'm familiar with some, but not in the business field, like you said, the sciences, like when you have a research article or research to do, you write a proposal before you are granted the permission.
Okay, to go ahead with that. Okay, so that's a different kind of proposal writing. So in the business world, the proposal writing, for example, maybe I want to supply your organization with diesel, for example. So I'm going to write and say, introduce myself. For example, my name is Omotese Linda, and this is like just the way when I started this training, I introduced myself. I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit about myself. We've been in the business of supplying diesel for 5 years, and we do it effectively because our priority is 100% customer satisfaction. You know, just write a little bit about yourself. Then you propose to them what you want to offer them. So I'm saying to them, can you please mute your voice? I'm echoing. Somebody please mute their voice. I'm echoing. Undicom, please mute your voice. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So I'm going to tell them what I'm proposing to offer. So I'm saying that I would like to supply you with diesel every month at this so rates. And these are my terms, that maybe payments after delivery, or we can agree on it. You know, you just tell them what you're proposing. Okay, for example, I want to supply you diesel. I will supply you at 200 naira per liter. this, and we'll bring it to your office instead of you going to the fuel stations to get it and things like that. So you just write a little bit about yourself, then tell them how you intend to service them or carry out the service that you're proposing. Tell them the service you're proposing and how you intend to carry out the service. And yeah, that's basically the summary of what a proposal writing is all about. And then the terms and conditions, like, okay, if you're proposing it to be every month, and that they will pay you when you deliver, things like that. That's just an example of a proposal writing. Business writing is when you're communicating within or externally within business. So within your own organization, you communicate with your colleagues. You would also communicate externally with your business clients or customers. So that's the external communication. So those are called business writing. So when you send an email, dear Ma, I'd like to make inquiries about your services to an external organization. That's the business writing within your organization. Dear Ma, please, I'd like your approval for or to take 2 or 3 days off work. That's internal business writing. So that's the difference. Yeah. Is everybody clear on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If everybody's clear on that, I want a recap from somebody. I want James to please give me a recap on what proposal writing is all about.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on.
Okay. So from what you've said so far,
Yeah.
what got about proposal writing involves writing or expressing your intent or your intention to carry out an activity to an organization.
Okay. So you're going to, go on.
Yeah, you're going to introduce yourself, include what you're going to do, what the organization would benefit, and all that information.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So Abigail, please explain to me what you understand by business writing.
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, darling. Go
on. For business proposal, is written for communication within a business. Maybe you have a business on ground, and it's just the communication concerning the business or the proposal or the relationships that you want to build in that business.
Okay, so what I said is that business writing is written communication, can be internally or externally. So within your organization, is you writing to your supervisor or writing to your subordinates, just communicating with your colleagues internally, but you're doing it written. So for example, please, can you share the price for a product? You can send it to your colleague and say, please, can you share the price for a product? Or this is to inform, maybe HR is communicating and say, this is to inform you that we'll have a training for the team tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's business writing as business communication. And that's happening within internally within the organization. Externally is when you have your external customers, like people you service that you do business with. You're writing to them, for example, that please be informed that we'll be making delivery of the products tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's an external communication, but that's also business writing, but externally. Okay, thank you. Is that clearer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right. So moving on. So things to consider when you're writing a proposal, you have to start with a firm introduction. I said that earlier on. So you have to start with a firm introduction, state the problem, and then propose the solution. Then include the budget and the schedule for the solution you're proposing. Then you wrap it up with a conclusion. And like we mentioned earlier on, always proofread your work. Sometimes you can ask somebody to help you go through it so that if there are corrections that you did not notice, the person will probably notice them and correct and help you in correcting them. Okay, so those are the things to consider when writing a proposal. You start with a firm introduction, state the problem, propose the solution, include the schedule and budget, wrap up with a conclusion, and proofread your work. Okay. Any questions on that?
No, ma.
No, ma.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, go on.
All right. I want to ask, is there a difference between business proposal and business plan? Because some people use it interchangeably, and I don't seem to get it if they are the same thing, are the contents the same thing, or they are totally different?
They are different. A business proposal is, I'm proposing. Proposing is not definite. Do you understand? I'm just saying that this is what I would like to do. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Do you understand that? A proposal is, I am proposing, I'm saying that this is what I would like to happen. So doesn't mean it will happen even if I propose it. So for example, I send a proposal to a company and say, please, I would like to supply you guys with diesel. They can come back to me and say, no, thank you. We already have a supplier and we're not looking to change our supplier. So that was a proposal. So it's not concrete. It's just a proposal. I'm just proposing something. But a business plan is, I have a plan. I have this business that I want to execute. So these are the steps I'm going to take to be able to execute this business. So a proposal is I'm writing to a third party or another party. A business plan is the plan I'm writing for myself. Is that clear? Do you get that?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So for example, I want to start a salon. I say, oh, okay, I'm going to rent a shop, 600,000. I'm going to buy dryer, 100,000. I'm going to hire a staff, 30,000. So those are my plans for the business. First item will be to rent a shop, look for an agent. Those are the plans I have to be able to put that business plan into existence. But the proposal is I'm just suggesting to another organization that I think this will benefit you guys if I provided this service to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right then, okay. So the do's and don'ts of proposal writing. So like we said, write clearly and concisely. Do your research. For example, now I want to sell diesel to a company. First of all, let's just assume they don't even have a generator because they have inverters.
Sorry, Aloma.
Yes, go ahead, I can hear you.
It shows that you did not research about them properly. You do not even know what they are into and how they do their things. You don't even know what was on ground before you make just proposal.
Thank you. So that's why before you propose anything to any organization, you have to do your research. You have to make sure you understand what they need and where they are at. For example, now I go to a school and I'm telling them I want to sell them interactive screens. And in this school, I want to sell them interactive screens. They don't come cheap. The school, they don't have windows in the school. Like it's a public school, there are no windows, no doors. The classroom is really in a chaotic state. And then I'm going to them and saying, I'm proposing you guys buy interactive screens for your classrooms. I haven't done my research well because I know that if I did my research, I would know if I'd done my research well that the school cannot afford such equipment, number one. And number two, if probably they're even able to afford it, that probably won't be their priority because they don't have windows in their classrooms. They don't have doors in their classrooms. So if I even put that kind of thing there, they're not going to steal it at the end of the day. So if I did my research well, I will not even propose that kind of thing in the first place. So proofread, edit your work more than once before releasing the final version. We've talked about it. Proofread your work. You can get someone to proofread it for you before you finally send it off. Then keep your sentences short, but not simplistic. Each sentence should still add meaning value. Okay, yeah. So just keep your sentences as short and straight to the point. Keep it simple. That's my own watchword. Keep it simple. Yeah. Utilize commas correctly. That's all your punctuations, what you were taught in English, put them into play without creating run-on sentences. So include one main idea per one paragraph. That's how writing should be. So for example, I want to talk about, I'm introducing myself now in my proposal writing. My first paragraph should just be about me introducing myself. My next paragraph should be about what I feel they need, their challenges should be about it. The third paragraph should be about the solution I'm proposing. So for each idea or each thought, it should come per paragraph. That's what we mean by include only one main idea per paragraph. Then your don'ts for proposal writing. Don't write for a business audience the way you talk. A lot of us are guilty of writing the way we speak. When you're writing proposals, you don't write the way you speak, especially for a business audience. Don't use inappropriate fonts. A lot of organizations usually tell you the fonts they want you to use when you're typing or sending out emails, maybe Times, Romance, or Arial. I think those are about the basic fonts that most organizations use, but there are other ones, but most organizations usually have the fonts that they think is appropriate to use. Sorry. Then don't wait until the last minute to begin writing. For example, your proposal is due tomorrow. All of a sudden this night, it's a do or die affair for you. What that does to you is that, number one, you don't have enough time to research. Number two, you're doing it in haste and you make so many mistakes, so don't wait until the last minute before you start writing. You have, say, for example, the company says, we'd like to have this in 1 week. The next day, as soon as you leave there, you're already working on it. Even if it's just the introductory part you do day one, you do that and you're done with that. Day two, you do your this thing, you do the challenges that you think they have. Day three, you do your solution that you're proposing. Think that you can do it gradually. Every day, do a little chunk till you get to the end of it all. So you don't wait until the last minute, and that gives you enough time to proofread, enough time to do your research, enough time to make corrections if there are any that needs to be made. Then don't exaggerate whatever you're offering. Do not exaggerate whatever you're offering. And then do not be unprofessional in your writing. There's a professional way to write, the professional languages and words to use when writing. So you keep it as professional as you can. Okay. So those are the do's and don'ts for proposal writing. Does anybody have anything to contribute to this? Hello, are we there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are here.
Okay. So any contributions?
I think Israel has something to say.
Okay, Israel, go ahead.
Yes.
Not now, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So James, why are you pushing Israel?
He was saying something about a marriage proposal. So I don't know. He probably
No, we're not talking about those kind of proposals right now. We're talking about proposals in the business world.
So he said something about writing marriage proposals or something.
Oh, okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, some of us have issues with writing a proposal, maybe because we don't have the skills in writing. How do we go about that?
Okay, so nowadays, online, there's so many courses, free courses that you can go through. If you go to Udemy or you go to Coursera, and I even think Knowledge Exchange Center, they actually offer some courses on proposal writing. You can double check with them at the end of this training session. I think they do actually offer something in proposal writing. So you can find a lot of courses you can do online. Some might be free, some you might need to pay for it. But also, I do believe that Knowledge Exchange Center, they actually have courses that offer for proposal writing. So find out from them after the training.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of this training. So any questions? Because if people don't ask me questions, I will ask you questions because it's communication. And I believe knowledge is exchanged when both parties have spoken, you guys understand, and you can tell me back what you've understood. So if people don't ask me questions, I would ask you questions. So any questions? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's dragging. No, it's not clear.
No, boy.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I think it's clear now.
Okay. So if you are writing to you for a business proposal, you write to an organization for a business proposal, and you are expected to get a feedback within certain time, and that feedback isn't coming. Is it possible to still write back to them?
Yes, you can ring them and say that, oh, I sent in a proposal regards to this, and I haven't had a feedback from you. So you were just following up to find out the status of your proposal. And you can ring them, you can write to them. Yes, you can follow up. You should actually follow up.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Does that still apply to job?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay,
you know that
ma'am.
these days, especially I think abroad, like you send, even like here in Nigeria, they started doing it. If you send out an application or you have an interview or a chat with an organization, regardless of the outcome, whether you're successful or you're not successful, they usually respond. They just send you an email, say, thank you for applying. However, maybe we had so many qualified candidates and it was really difficult for us to make a decision. Unfortunately, this time around, you've not been selected as the successful candidate, but we encourage you to apply some other time. They usually do that these days. So yeah, you usually get a response when you apply for a job, whether successful or not.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions before I start throwing out mine? Any more questions before I start throwing out mine?
Hello, ma.
Yes, go on.
Thanks for that wonderful lecture, ma. I want to add to that the question the guy asked. What about in a situation whereby you don't get a feedback from, maybe you've been interviewed and you've done a series of tests and something like that, and you didn't get a feedback from them? In such situation, what can one do?
You can write to them or you can ring them and then call them and say, yes, please, I interviewed 2 weeks ago for the role of an HR and I haven't heard the feedback. I'd like to know what the status of my application is. And they'll tell you that, oh, we're still conducting other interviews probably, or we're still yet to conclude on it, so we're still working on it. And as soon as we conclude, we'll let you know. You should always ring them. It's okay to ring them to find out. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, ma. Another question, man. Hello, ma.
I'm here, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, ma. There is this, I have a girl. There was a day we went for a lecture. It was actually physical lecture. So when we were going in, she was like, I enjoyed this lecture, unlike the previous lecture we had virtually. It was an online. So I was not like, what's the difference? That lecture too was very interesting. It was like so fantastic. What's about it? He said he doesn't like virtual online lecture. She prefers seeing the lecturer, like the lecture, seeing them, like the, I don't know, maybe kind of. Yeah. So I want to ask, is it that does she have a bad listening skills, or how? I don't really understand that. I don't know. Do you get my question, ma?
Yes,
Okay, ma. Hello, ma. Oh. Hello, ma.
Okay, so I think
so you don't open yourself to changes. Do you understand? So
I can't hear you, man.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma, I can hear you now.
Okay, so we're talking about barriers in communication. For example, we talked about barriers in communication when you're biased about something. So the person has already made up their mind and concluded that, oh, I only like physical lectures. I want to see the teacher in front of me and everything. But if the person could just open their mind up a little bit more and sit down for a virtual lecture, they might find out that they enjoy it even more than the physical lecture. It's just a bias. It's just like the person's mindset is just saying. So that's another example of a barrier to communication. So the person's mind is biased. The person's mind is close to one particular or a certain kind of way of doing things, you know. So that could be a barrier in communication. So what the person needs to learn to do is just open their minds more and try and enjoy virtual lectures. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome.
Yes,
okay. So I'm going to take 3 people to give me a brief summary of what they learned today from all of this. I'm just going to pick out 3 people, and then after that, we're just going to round up and call it a day. Okay. So 3 people that haven't spoken at all. Joshua Bolarinwa. Okay, he has spoken actually, but don't worry. Joshua, I want you to please give me a summary of what you've learned today, or what stood out for you today from this training session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, I was able to learn the difference between, we have different types of proposals and how to write each of them. And in addition, I also learned skills, communication skills. Of course, how communication is not one way, it's in 2 ways.
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Not me, go ahead. Somebody else.
Yes. On how communication has to be decoded.
Yeah.
Of course, you are the person giving the information. At least the information is coded. So he has to explain or communicate to the other party, in which the other party also has to decode it. In that manner, it is called, that's what we call communication. If the other party doesn't decode it, then it's not communication. It's just a mere talk. Thanks so much, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Okay. Taiwo Fayoshe. Can you please recap to us what stood out for you in this training session? Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Taiwo. Can you hear you?
Good afternoon, can hear you.
We can hear
Please
you.
let me start by commending the teacher for an excellent delivery. I really appreciate that. Yeah. In summary, I feel I learned communication, that communication does not only end with you talking, but the other party listening and comprehending.
Yeah, so yeah, that's correct. What else did you
going further with release? Also, I learned about proposal writing. It was an eye opener for me. I've been trying to write proposals for a couple of times. Yes, I thought it's the way we write our proposal in school for our academics and then political meetings like that. But I found a new direction to proposal writing, that you have to sell yourself, give an in-depth a brief about what you have been doing and how you intend to profit the other party with what you are offering, and then also business writing, internal communication and external information within the company you work with, within the staffs, and also in exchange to the customer or clients. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, Solomon.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Solomon.
Yeah, something I learned from this today's lecture is the fact that it's about non-verbal communication.
Okay.
That the way we position our body, the way things we do might say a lot of things, whether we are listening or not. Yeah. And also maintaining an appropriate distance from the person we are communicating with. And also, to be a good listener, I don't have to interrupt people when communicating. I have to listen, because it's something I do sometimes. I tend to interrupt people when talking. So I've learned that I need to listen, let them express themselves. After expressing themselves, I need to also take some time to pause and understand what they have said, try to digest what they said before giving an appropriate reply. That's one important lesson I've learned today. And also looking at people's eyes, looking at them when they are talking, it shows I'm actually paying attention.
Yes,
That's one of the things I learned today.
Thank you very much. So I believe that communication has taken place between me and you guys today, because a lot of you are able to recap accurately what we've talked about today. So thank you very much, everyone, for your time and attention. And I hope all those things we've learned, you guys are able to put it into practice. You know, it's one thing for you to take and listen to all of this and go out and forget everything, but you should put everything into practice so you become more effective in your communication.
Okay, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
All right, thank you,
ma.
Thank you, ma. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bless you, ma.
Bye, ma.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
We love you.
Our host. He's not here.
James. Ma.
Hi, ma.
Please, can we have...
James is not the new host. Please, let's hear him, ma.
Guys, hold on. On behalf
James,
of Mr.
give us a vote of thanks.
Yes, I saw his vote of thanks.
You guys are not allowing me to talk. All right, so on behalf of Mr. Adedapo and on behalf of my colleagues too, who is not currently, thank you very much for the session. Thank you for not just teaching, but also practicalizing the topic and the course content. So communication has actually taken place. We really appreciate you for impacting knowledge and not just teaching, but also practicing what the course content is about. So thank you very much. Mr. Adetapo, who is unavoidably absent, will then reach out to you in no time. He's not here currently. So thank you very much for the amazing session.
Thank you for your vote of thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, take care. All of you have a good evening.
And you too.
All right.
Okay. Bye then.
How can we connect to you, ma?
Okay, let me share my email there. I'll just share my email on the chat.
Your LinkedIn profile.
Okay. I'll share my name on LinkedIn, so you can just search for me, because I don't think I know the parts. That's my name on LinkedIn. Yeah, and then my email is okay, so I look forward to hearing from you guys. So my name is Omotesel Koza on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And that's my email address.
Okay, thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much, man.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, so we're ending the meeting now. Thank you very much. Do have
Don't end the meeting, please. Any announcements?
Just any announcements?
Let's share the grace before we go.
Remember to fill the feedback form.
Okay,
Feedback
yeah,
from number one.
Okay, bye
Number
guys.
two.
Bye.
Don't come naked to this class, please. Go and wear your clothes.
Please, before you go, there is a message on WhatsApp from Mr. Agogo. Probably we should check on it. For an opening, yes, he just posted it. So please kindly check on it and revert if you are interested.
Somewhere, go and wear your clothes. Don't come to Zoom with your nakedness. We can hear you, madam.
Yes, we heard you, Gloria. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, ma.
My name is Gloria. I know they call me Ma. Yeah? Thank you.
Yes, ma.
Not ma. I should be calling you Saba.
Yes, ma.
Leave this meeting mode this small.
Now money I define, not be ma. Define.
Okay,
switch on your videos. Switch on your videos.
Man,
Don't want to
your
video.
Better I can't be like not to woman.
They meant.
Who be this? This is the first time I've seen this guy. Ade Bobola, Ade Lea.
I can leave now.
Guys, what are you doing? Why are you coming to Zoom class?
You go and wear clothes. Ezike, my fake partner, go and dress up. This is wrong. If you are not wearing clothes, you are wrong.
More heat day. Man, wear clothes, make a catch fire. Let breathe inside my body now. What's up?
Go stay inside freezer.
All right, guys, please. Any class tomorrow?
Yes.
Go, please.
Only you.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
We cannot hear you.
I can if I created an Excel page and the columns keep going on forever. How can I reduce the column to fit just the size I want, please?
There's an arrow. There's an arrow on the page. You are using a phone or you are using a laptop?
Using a system.
Okay, and there is put your cursor on the line that you want to reduce, either vertically or horizontally. Once you put your cursor there, you will just see the cursor will change to two arrows, either horizontally or vertically. Then you just shift that cursor.
I'm not shifting. You are not understanding my question. Let me explain. I want to delete excess columns that I'm not using.
Okay, highlight it, then right click. You will see options.
I've done that. It's not doing.
And you are using a system.
Yes, please.
Is it the columns that you want to delete?
The column and the row that are I want to delete them.
Once you highlight, you are supposed to right click and it will show you options. If it doesn't show, probably your Excel is having issues.
It shows me, but it's not deleting.
Probably maybe you should just refresh and do it again.
I've done it several times. It's still not doing.
Or maybe you should close it and reopen it again.
Madam Gloria.
Master.
See, I want to ask, please, during this session, have you been able to birth any business idea that you can share so that we'll launch it together?
If you see that proposal, wallahi, I've gotten one already. You trust me?
Go back home.
If you need, I can give you like 5.
5.
That 5 don't plenty.
Yeah, which one do you need? Is it farming? Is it business? Is it production? Is it talk now? Which one?
There's no
business. I need business.
What type of business? What field? What line are you interested in? Have you done personality tests to see what you fit into? You know, Mr. Adedapo shared the personality test link. So if you are confused about the type of business to go into, I think you should take that test. Then they will highlight to you careers you can do. So from there, you will definitely see what you are, what you will do that you will love. In the next 20 years, you will want to do it without holding back. Then when you are done with that and you really see what you love, you can come, then me and you can talk like on larger needs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Business.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Love y'all. I love y'all.
Bye. Oh, remember for the bye.
Una still there?
Oluwa, we
know they go anywhere.
Bye.
Nobody leaves.
Oluwa, Fisa me. Abigail. Adekojo Florence. Akinoye Dani. Samuel and Nigbe.
We president.
Last man standing. They don't make me the host too. Okmo, yeah. More home meeting now, who day?
Oh, we are ma.
Okay, I can go now. I'm the last one live.
Bye, bye. Leave the meeting for me and my brother.
Oh, yeah,
Are you outside?
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I don't have machine set this one for myself since.
You don't want to start this in technical training, sir. Now only I want to do I'm be with the go the.
Now next week, I know the class yesterday. What's up? You know the class yesterday. What happened?
I got one interview yesterday. That make me not come.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know say now which yourself you go. Now what to you? Oh yeah, ba.
What can I
say now you finish from shoe.
No. Now what I finish from?
I know since I don't know say I'm myself. Abi.
Of no. Agbana kanya.
What's up?
Yeah, so how the training they be? How I want be?
I'm on the saying which one did they now? That policy is there now.
Yeah, now they.
So our own now still blessing are more offline. They still will pass the message this tomorrow. That tomorrow really know where we stand. But now more virtual Natasha.
We don't want online. Maybe they just give me the company, man, the good there. And this online, this I don't want.
No, we never reached that Google company now. But the people stuff we will know where we did that next week. Whether we'll fit to go there, but we will get in first now. Now that training, they say they will give us material. Like I saw the map talk come. He will give us material, we will study first before we start the real class training. But we'll first study our own material.
Okay. All right.
So now that one we do. So maybe tomorrow, they'll pass it today to tomorrow. So we'll know how they be.
So like this now, officially now, we know they go this American corner again till we graduate.
If you go on your own now, if you go on your own, next week I feel enter there, say go relax for there. I use that network.
Yeah.
Because I guess some things they want sort.
I'm be like, no, I'm a businessman. You want design one or two for that.
Now, so more use that because that place they very much conducive for person.
I'm good down. If you did them. Hello, can you hear me?
You see, I hear you say it.
Yeah. I said if you did it, they never burn the heat when one worry you.
At all. You know, some picture yesterday, so you don't miss out.
Oh, I miss, sir.
No, but do I go for the important stage? So when you look at Sariti, their phone, you can't miss out. I also said, it's their phone. I don't want to present.
No, not being that. It make me move on. How the show, how the meeting be, how the presentation be?
You go and I did facilitate me the dollar, but yeah. Everybody because of time, and most of the women said, "Maybe she did that from London. Now she did the most of us." So I don't want to time corners. So I still go with that tradition.
All right. Oh, wow. I greet you, sir. Your network they break.
My network they break. My network. I said that. Now WhatsApp will continue talk.
All right, now later. Now we'll be the last man standing.
I want to be like everyone almost leave us.
All right, let's try.
I'll try. Yeah.